Hello all on YouTube, Shadowsun here, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I am still tripod-less, and that will be for a while because I can't seem to get it to work right now. Anyhow, I was inspired by something that I wrote a while ago at a separate point in time, and also a conversation that I had. And I wanted to share this experience with you just because I felt like it's important and I was inspired by the thing that I wrote. I wrote this post a while back, and the post is on my first ever solitary ritual, in terms of a really simple thing that I did really early on in my practice. I wrote this post a while ago, and you can read the post in the description of the video. Is a link to my blog, and you can read that. But I also wanted to share it here. So early on in my practice, I didn't have a lot of things. I was lucky to have tea light candles or birthday candles or anything like that. And that being said, I wanted to do a ritual on the full moon because I had always read in the books that I was learning about or learning from that the full moon was this opportune time for magic and rituals and all these different things. And all the books I ever read, at least at the time, were talking about rituals in the full moon. They didn't mention any other moon phases until later on in the process here. So I wanted to do something pretty simple. So what I did was I had this little bowl with nothing in it, and I used that for my cakes and ale. And this is, mind you, based off a book. Like I said, off of books. I didn't take a ritual from a book or anything like that. I just used a framework of a basic ritual, which I didn't get to go into in the book or in the post. So I just used what I was learning in books to frame a ritual around just connecting with the moon's energy. And I just wanted to understand what this whole thing was talking about. So that's just how I decided to do it. So I'm always, and this includes the whole cakes and ale thing because that was part of the book's description of the basic ritual situation as well. So I essentially had this little bowl, and I used that bowl for the cakes and ale, and I had this other set of bowls with salt in there for earth and water, a little bowl filled with water, and this tiny little candle for fire, and then this tiny little bell for air, because I didn't have any feathers or a fan or anything, so I just rolled with it. And all I had was a dresser top. Just a dresser top, a little tiny space on there. So what I did was I cleaned everything up physically. I made sure that everything was cleaned up. I moved stuff off of it. I made sure I had enough space for everything. Set everything up. All that good stuff. And then I decided, because they always talked about ritual bathing and this and that. And I'd love to go into ritual in more detail for the record. Just an entire series on that, because it was such a big part of my practice and in many ways still is. I digress. And so I washed my hands as a form of cleansing, cleaning my hands as a form of cleansing. And as I was cleaning the space up, I tried to visualize and really focus on what I wanted the space to feel like energetically. And so I put on some really light meditation music to help me meditate and ground and make sure I was in a really good frame of mind. And to cast my circle, I just used my hand, as I'm holding it up, I'm hoping you can see, my hand, one of my fingers, in my hand, and I faced each direction. I used really simple language to call the quarters and, do some kind of evocation to God and Goddess. And I did all of this, right? And as I'm doing this, mind you, and this is what I didn't get to go into in the written post, I essentially was feeling all this energy shift around me. And even though I was inside, I could still focus on not just the energy, like as a circle was cast and everything. Um, I used the bell to, like, as a way to mark the ringing, like as a sound, if you will. Um, and I apologize, I'm not articulating this well, but um, I could feel the energy shift around me, and since I wanted to focus on the full moon, I focused on what I have experienced when I have been outside during a full moon, and I looked up like towards the sky, or with, in the space I'm in, so to speak, and I really focused and visualized what I have experienced, and I brought myself back to an experience that I have come to know as I've spent time outside during the full moon. And as I did this, I noticed the space around me felt really light, for lack of a better term. Like, it just felt really positive and very, very filled with energy, and my whole body felt like I had this abundance of energy that I had no idea what to do with. But, obviously at the time I'm still learning, so I am experiencing this, and at one point it became so overwhelming that I didn't know what to do other than to sit down. Like, instinctually, I just sat down on the ground, and I proceeded to just put my hands like on the ground, and maybe that would help me ground, because I read somewhere that that might help also. And so I just focused on it and focused on that energy, and I felt a little calmer. And then I decided to do the cakes and ale, which in my case was these little crackers that I had found and some water. So I had this bottle of water, and I had this, and I put it in this little tiny bowl, and I offered it up, and I said a few things and thanks. And then I decided to end the ritual because I wanted to process what I experienced and really understand what went on there. And looking back on it made me sort of realize, like, what I learned from that ritual was a lot of things. I learned about what it feels like to be like flooded with energy, and other ways to ground, and the process of ritual. And for me, I think of ritual as like a very like a series of actions that are for a specific purpose that you do um, within relative frequency, as it were. And we all do rituals in some capacity. I think y'all have your morning routine. Usually everybody has a morning routine of some sort. And I think of those things, and I've also been to churches where they have these types of sequences of actions and things that they do on a very specific basis. Um, so I hope that this has helped in some capacity. I just felt like sharing this experience, and I hope that you have enjoyed watching or listening, or however you are consuming this video. And I will speak to you all soon. If you do like what you see, please subscribe. Please turn on the notification sound to all. And I will speak to you all soon. Many blessings to you. Stay safe and well.